Good morning. We are back with another episode of ETRetail Cafe by ETRetail, where we are on a journey to make sure you know the maximum retailers as we interact with them and discover a new story about them. We are on a journey where we have reached to a point. This is our 50th episode and end of season 2. And we have with us today Aastha Almast, who is the co-founder and director of New Shop. She is redefining how we used to shop grocery and how we shop at late night. And you are a technology company, if I'm not wrong. Aastha, welcome to you.
Thank you so much, Aru, and what an igniting introduction. I'm sure everybody's gotten our attention now. With New Shop, we're redefining convenience retail, as you said. We're now India's largest and fastest growing chain of 24/7 convenience retail that is backed by a very strong franchise model. We're both solving the problem of the next generation of entrepreneurship in India, as well as whatever the needs of the new generation of young Indians need. So it's a very good marriage, yes, we are the guys who are never asleep, serving 24 hours and always on our toes.
Yes, we will delve deeper into it. But as far as I know, I want to understand, you started your career, professional career, as an actress, then become a financial analyst, then an entrepreneur, and then a retailer. The journey has been really long. What inspired you to be a part of retail industry, and why did you leave acting?
So, it's interesting that you asked that. Acting was transpired by my dad, and retail was transpired by my mom. So, my dad, actually I come from a family of doctors from my father's side. Each and every one's a doctor, and I think I would be like the fourth generation that decided not to become a doctor. And this was, my dad always had like this dream of producing a movie. And, when he was looking at a child actress, I think I'm pretty cute and I have pretty good vocal skills. So rather than looking outside, he just thought best to train her in theater and various other dynamics. So I just ended up becoming a child actress. But while doing the acting, while I enjoyed, I love the camera, I love talking, I love making friends, and I love, acting out emotions that I strongly feel. I just realized that intellectual part of me was being unsatisfied in the career of acting. And that's when, the doctor side of me, my family took the forefront, and I started preparing and studying for medical sciences. My grandfather was one of India's first plastic surgeon, and my grandmom was one of India's first lady gynecologists. I'm talking about pre-independence era, which is why you would understand, where the strong woman in me comes from. They both wanted me to become a doctor, and I thought this is what I really want to do till I took science with bio, and I was supposed to conduct some experiments, and I realized I can't even pick up an injection, let alone, become a plastic surgeon or become a gynecologist. So realized that's not the field for me. And for confused kids like me, who are sort of also academically very well oriented, decided to pursue, either engineering or economics, and then decide what I wanted to do eventually after an MBA. So that's how, the story unfolded. And I continued to remain confused till I was, I think, in my late 20s. I did a lot of, I worked across multiple companies. I worked in Bank of America straight out of college when I did economic honors. Then I worked with Standard & Poor as a financial analyst for a very long time. But I was like always sort of, I was good at things, but I did not feel passionate about anything till then. That was a time when I remember I'd gone for an interview, and the lady told me, you're good at this, you're good at that, and you do so many things together. I don't think you're focused. And that really sort of hurt me. And I started thinking of all these big industrialists and entrepreneurs who are multi-talented. Would you call them not focused? It's that multi-talent is what has made them successful entrepreneurs in life. And that's the same answer I gave to that recruiter. And then she said, if that is what you really think, if that's how good you think you are, then why don't you just start up? And that sort of stuck to me. Yeah, why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I pursue entrepreneurship? And I shared this feedback with Charak, who's my brother. who was back then studying computer science in USA, and he said, okay, let's do it. And this was the year 2011, and Charak, who's my younger brother, and our best friend Mani, they were both, Mani is a data scientist, and Charak was a computer game developer. And we all three decided, we are crazy game enthusiasts, and we decided that we'll launch India's answer to, the big gaming companies, like the PlayStation and Xbox, and we'll build our own India's gaming company. And then we decided that Charak and Mani will move base to India, and we'll build a gaming company. So that's how our first startup was launched. Motion Punch Studios, 2011, was a smartphone gaming company. But as young kids, you have like these big ambitions, and you don't realize that it's not always the right talent and the right product. The right timing and the right market also have to be coherent for your success. And that's where we made the mistake. 2011, India didn't have cheap smartphones. India didn't have the geo internet, and let alone spending money on doing in-game purchases, on in-app purchases. People were, we weren't economically where we are today. So it was a very bad decision. 2 years, we slogged. We created really good games, but we couldn't monetize it. And that's when, in 2013, we decided we need to stop Motion Punch Studios and look at some different business which is more relevant and needed by the society. So that's how the idea of our second startup was born. It was called Smart I Can. And you won't believe, back in the days, we realized that your Facebooks and Orkuts and all are networks that only restrict you to your friends and family. But the world is much wider, and the young people, thanks to our interaction with them through the gaming company, want to be connected to people based on likes, interests, and popularity, and they want to monetize the content that they are sharing on the platform. That's how Smarticon was born, and I would say it's like a precursor of the Instagram Explorer that as we see today, or TikTok. But again, 2014, very ahead of its times. All the way it scaled to 1 million users within a period of like couple of months. You go out in the market and you ask investors that I'm building the new version of Facebook, which is futuristic, and this is what the world would look like. Nobody bought our story. So that was a second learning, that you may get the timing right, you may get the product right, you may get the talent right, but you need funding for your business to survive and continue to keep building it. And that's what we did not have at that time. And businesses like this, social network and social media, require a lot of investment, both in terms of the technology and the server space, and those costs were mounting for us. It took us 1 year. We realized that yes, this is a great product. One day it will find use, but it's not finding use in India. It's incidentally also the same year where TikTok was founded. So anyway, we realized you have to build a product which is right for the market. It has right for the timing, and something that the consumers want so much that you're not really dependent on funding. You just continue building it, and the right kind of investor will find you and fund you and boost your growth. So with that mindset, we waited out and pivoted Smarticon to online reputation management company, sold it, made money, etc. But in 2017, we struck a very good opportunity when we got introduced to Shark Tank, one of the early founders of Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington, in US. And he was a client of ours in the previous business, and he called us to US. And then he introduced us to a couple of folks at Patel Brothers, in fact the early founders, which Patel Brothers is one of largest grocery chain in US, competing with Walmart, founded by a group of Gujarati immigrants, who went to US with the big American dream and worked across convenience stores, saved up, and eventually built one of the US's largest grocery chain in their country, competing with their retail chains, right? So it's an inspirational story for us when we met them. With them, we realized that technology is like an enabler, right? Apply technology in every industry and you can make it more efficient, more productive, and more scalable, more profitable. But treat technology as an enabler and start solving problems that your industries in your country sort of face, right? And that was a very big revelation, right? We attended a lot of these Shark Tank, Pitch Tank events as spectators and realize what all amazing innovations happening in US in the new product space, in the new retail space. But in India, the retail, the technology had been what it was since like the pre-independence era. There's really nothing that had happened, and honestly, there weren't even any entrepreneurs in the Indian retail landscape. Everyone that was there were like either business tycoons or business families running retail, and we thought that was the reason why there was not much disruption or innovation happening, because the industry really needed talent, young talent that wanted to do some disruption or make some changes felt. And yeah, we came back with this dream that we're going to do something in India in retail, but just did not know back then what we wanted to do. So running Smartican, we used to live in Mumbai, and the traffic in Mumbai is a pain, right? Imagine 3 young entrepreneurs working in Mumbai, living in Lokhandwala with their office in Bombay Stock Exchange building. Each way, I think we used to spend almost 2.5 to 3 hours to get to office every day. And we didn't have anyone that we knew. It's difficult to find domestic help, and people who were like working 24 hours needed products that are available 24 hours in a standardized hygienic environment. And every time we used to take the train and pick up cold coffee from the railway station, how unhygienic and unstandardized stuff is. And this used to keep going on. At late night we needed a pen drive, or we needed some stationery, or needed printouts, or even grocery on the way back home, right, to cook our breakfast the next day. It was just so difficult. Yes, you have like these traditional retail shops, but you had to go to like 15 different shops to figure out, and then they shut down at 8 p.m. And then there are these challenges. Somebody will not sell eggs because they're religious. Somebody will not sell something or the other because of, or even worse, if there's a India-Pakistan match, don't expect any traditional retailer to work that day. They'll just shut shop and they just will not operate. And those are the challenges we started seeing. And I remember one day in a train journey from Andheri railway station to Churchgate, me, Charak and Mani was sitting and wondering, why is convenience retail, which is such a huge, it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry globally, why are they setting up anything in India? I mean, it's not just our problem, where we are like 70% young population, and we all have needs 24 hours. None of us are sleeping anymore on time. We're working in call centers, or we're working in so many kind of places where we're up all night. We started taking late night flights. India is becoming a safer country. There's so much infrastructural development. And in 2017, with those thoughts, we reached out to Kevin in 2019 and said, we know our answer in retail. Retail is going to be a $2-3 trillion industry in India in the next decade. Our real, love and passion lies in building convenience retail for India, because that is our problem, and that's our friend's problem, and that's a problem we solve for India. And would you want to fund us? And he said, I've been to India before, and the first thing that I ever land in a country, and I start looking for nearest convenience retail store, and I didn't find anything. So it's a no-brainer, right? Like, you guys will build this company, you guys will scale this company, but even more so, what he saw in us is that we are going to be pioneering in building the distribution story for India. Yeah. So he had invested in a lot of new age brands, D2C products, etc. But even with billions of dollars, it's very difficult to crack the Indian retail landscape and find a proper distribution channel for them to reach the end consumer, not just in the urban tier 1 centers, but 2, 3, 4 as well. And he started seeing that you crack this convenience retail model, and you literally become the doorway for any brand to reach their end consumer. Like, you have like 10,000 stores, and you click a finger, and then you make the brand national or international from day one. So that's our long story short on retail. And I don't think it's short, but
but you were saying it so passionately, I didn't feel like stopping you in between. So when you started a new shop, what were the challenges you faced at that point of time, and how have those challenges changed at this point of time?
So I think the biggest challenge I face is that I happen to be the only woman founder in FMCG retail in India. So there were a lot of pushbacks. There is a bit of operational element involved in running retail. So a lot of people would come and say, this is not an industry meant for women, and what are you doing? And you will not be able to deal with blue collars, and you will not be able to deal with vendors. There's just so much chaos in the industry. I even had some relatives who said, "Abhi I am Calcutta, and isa padne ke baad tum ab chips bechogi." right? So there were a lot of biases which I had to face, and those biases were not just from friends and family, but even investors who didn't think a woman is capable of, excelling in an industry like this. Apart from that, when we started, there wasn't much research material or any information readily available on what kind of sort of licenses do you need, what kind of, how do I start this business? Like I had absolutely no idea. We researched, we met a lot of people, but there was really no black and white answer to how do we start a convenience retail business, starting with something as simple as how do we apply for a 24 hours license, like which ministry, which department is going to be enabling any of this. We knew that 24 license is granted because there was a company in convenience retail 24/7 operating in India, so we knew this was possible, but how is it to be done is something that we did not know, right? And we're not like, backed by a large, family business where, we had the connections and stuff. So we had to figure a lot of things out, and lack of information was definitely one of the biggest challenges. So to make things simple, we happened to find out in the newspaper in 2019 that, the railway ministry was looking at redeveloping railway stations. And we obviously understand that the convenience retail excels in transit hubs. And we read up, who are the people. So there's this company called IRSDC that was redeveloping and reorganizing railway stations. And we just felt that we're a made in India company run by a woman founder. We should get a fair shot in opening a store at a railway station. And we are actually, the face of New India versus all these other people who are also trying to apply. And the government was promoting Make in India, women-owned enterprise, Startup India, etc. So our first shot actually came when we went to IRSDC's office in December 2019, and showed them our expertise in technology, our expertise in running retail operations, and how passionate we are as entrepreneurs to contribute to India's growth and development story. And I think within 20 days we got a nod. And our first railway station store came up in Anand Vihar railway station in Delhi in January 2020. Like, I don't think anyone ever in this world has worked at the kind of speed that IRSDC did. And we're totally sort of thankful and humble about, people say it's so difficult to crack into government relationships and get them to give you, a contract, but it was cakewalk. And I think since then there's been no looking back. So Anand Vihar railway station, the first store taught us everything. By default, they work 24 hours, and getting that ministry's help and hand-holding you, we figured out how various other licenses, they were very helpful. How various other licenses and how to get the FSI license, how to get this, that. That first store really helped us navigate the entire territory with the help of IRSDC.
So when you started building the foundation of this company, what were the 3 values that you wanted to build this company upon? And when you hire, what do you look into the talent that, yes, this is the right talent to be a part of my brand?
So I think the number one value for us has always been transparency. In retail, there is really no transparency, and which is also one thing that we found out when we were interacting with the railway ministry, that they usually work on a revenue share basis, right, with the retailer. And because there is no technology at all, at the end of the month, the retailer sends them an Excel sheet and does some calculation, and everybody has to believe what is going on. And that's what we wanted to break, right? Somebody is trusting us with data and info, and offering us a very good revenue share deal. They should have access to real-time data on what we are selling, how we're selling, who we're selling it to, and build analytics, predictive analytics. Up to now, everybody's talking about the generative AI and all. This is something we started doing in the year 2019, so that the government has an equal opportunity of knowing the deep insights into our data, and they know that we're doing everything transparently, and the revenue share is coming to them end of the month is all like calculated with all fair genuineness. The second value for us has always been maintaining equality and equal opportunity, right? So when we started out, there are so many great small medium enterprises brands that never end up reaching the end consumer because either they find the e-commerce world too expensive because they can't afford the CAC, or retailers obviously have like these large placement fees, etc. And even after that, you may not be able to crack the retail ecosystem. So with this, with our mindset of creating an equal opportunity for all, we started creating shelf spaces and realized that this is an Indian railway station. We should promote make in Indian brands, not just run after the international brands, and give them the equal opportunity to showcase what they built for the rest of the world. So we work with this factory of women who are like nannies and dadis, this company called Blends that we now actually have acquired. Who are like women in their 60s plus, destitute women and special women who are making these amazing Indian snacks, and all they wanted was some customers to try and buy. And it was like the most successful brand of ours at railway station. Nani Dadi Ka Pyar was in those products, right? So that equal opportunity really played out very well. And I think the third value that we always had was efficiency. So far we all know that retail companies in India have not been efficiently working, and profitability is a very far away point. In fact, most of them don't even see it in the near future. So how do we create an efficient ecosystem of running retail operations, which is profitable and done in a way that is able to is easily able to scale with profitability. So all these efficiency, and I mean, we're a profitable company, 5-year-old company, and we became profitable in the 3rd year itself, is happening because we built in those values very early on. How do we make the ecosystem very efficient? And the entire technology piece was built around, we're not looking at 100, 200 stores. We're looking at 10,000 stores by 2030. So that's what helped us get to where we are today.
My second question was, what values do you see in the employees when you hire them? Yes, this is the right fit for the new shop.
So apart from these 3 values, I think me, Charak and Mani really look for honesty and loyalty. We 3 work in a very, we're very passionate, but more than that, we're very ethical. So that is something that we're very sort of anal about. We want to have people who are ethical, passionate. Obviously, you can be aggressive, you want to scale, but without sort of compromising too much on your ethics, right? And the loyalty towards the company. And I think the other value that we look for is we're looking at entrepreneurs. Like we are entrepreneurs, 3rd-time entrepreneurs. We're empowering entrepreneurs. So the people who join the New Shop family have to be entrepreneurial in their mindset. Otherwise, dealing with entrepreneurs like us, and entrepreneurs, by entrepreneurs I mean franchise owners, it can be very difficult if you don't understand the mindset. So entrepreneurial mindset is what we look for.
So Aastha, coming back to consumers now, when you started, the COVID hit as soon as you guys started. The consumer expectations at that point must be different as compared to what it is now. How have they changed over the period of time?
So see, fortunately, because our first store was in Anand Vihar railway station just before COVID started, we weren't just restricted to serving the tier 1 urban consumers. I think it's great that we got a sneak peek into the real Bharat through our experience in Anand Vihar railway station, where people from all walks of life, villages, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities. So every train that goes from Delhi to east, right, whether it's Bihar or UP and that entire belt, goes from Anand Vihar railway station. So we got a real sneak peek into what Bharat looks like, and sort of started observing consumer behavior. And one thing that we noticed that don't judge a book by its cover. So somebody walking into your store may look a particular way, but don't just automatically imagine their paying capacity or disposable income by just how they look. And that was our biggest learning. And one thing that we realized is that in India, people are not discount seeking; they're value seeking. So and by value, I also mean aspirational value. So India is an upwardly mobile economy, and aspirations are even more deep rooted when you move out of the urban centers. And that's what we saw. We saw people coming into our store, and a lot of them wanted to take gifts back for their family, and a lot of them wanted products for immediate consumption, and they were conscious about what they were buying, and not just sort of price wise, but in terms of what value are they deriving out of it. So a great packaging sort of impacted their mindset and facilitated a purchase. A different kind of a board game that they've never seen in their village or anywhere sort of impacted their mindset and facilitated a purchase despite the price. So we used to sort of, our anchor product there were tea and coffee. So we used to sell coffee for 15 rupees and tea for 10, just like your regular, chai wala store. But our tea and coffee were freshly brewed in a machine, and it looked very hygienic. And that's just sort of what made the switch happen from those traditional shopkeepers to our store, because it looked clean, hygienic, it looked beautiful. And when talking to the customers, we realized how aspirational India is becoming, and things like har achhi cheez mehengi nahi hoti, and that's what we realized at your store. And this is the thank you for getting us the experience of an airport style store in a railway station. Right now our railway station also looks cool, so people took pride, customers took pride at our store, and we realized that this is the emotion that we have to continue to evoke for our customers to be happy. Now I don't know what was happening pre-COVID in all these places, but one big thing that we realized is that COVID helped consumers understand the meaning of hygiene, standardization, round-the-clock access, and above all, expiry of products. So consumers have become a lot more conscious in terms of when they enter into we qualify as a modern trade store. When they enter into our store, they want to read the composition and the ingredients. They want to see what is the remaining shelf life, and they have become a lot more aware. And this is across all economic and social stratas of the society. They want to know what they are consuming, and they ask questions around that. That I think has been the biggest reason for our success, because as we are expanding in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, people, and we're usually the only modern trade store in those cities, people are seeing the value. I mean, we never discount our products. We never put sale, or how typical grocery retailers try to attract customers by offering great offers. We never do that. But what value people are seeing is, it's open 24 hours, it's round the clock access. As soon as they see the new shop store, in their mind they know that I'm going to find these things, and it's going to solve for all my problems. It's going to be standardized. I'm not going to find expired products. I'm going to find most likely freshly produced stuff, and it's going to be super hygienic. So I think consumers are value conscious, especially in tier 2, 3, tier 4 cities. They're super aspirational, and they want to shop and be found at a coolest store in town, which is New Shop. So yeah, that's what the youngsters are doing.
With technology moving at a rapid pace and with the emergence of quick commerce these days, have you ever felt that threat from quick commerce, or you are taking it head on head? If yes, how?
So see, India is to be a $2-3 trillion retail market, and there will be, just like the West, multiple formats of retail that will coexist, right? And all formats of retail are solving a particular use case for a customer. Now, while quick commerce is solving the use case for deliveries at home, we are solving for a great experience, a touch and feel. In a city like Jabalpur, you enter our store and you're transported to a beautiful place outside, and we're solving for the needs of the community, where people come and hang out together, socialize together. We're solving for services. So we don't just sell products, but also services, like you can do instant cash withdrawal, courier, pick up, drop. On Diwali, we'll offer you a Pandit service. On Karwa Chauth, we'll offer you a henna artist for your mehndi needs. So we're solving for community needs and services. So we're building the community together, and also empowering entrepreneurship, creating more job opportunities in that community. So we think of ourselves as somebody who's doing more community building activities, empowering entrepreneurship and employment, and don't really see a threat, because I think we're a growing economy, and all formats of retail are very far away from cannibalization. And even getting to the minute details, our product mix is very different from quick commerce's product mix. So in convenience retail, anything that is consumed within the first 1 hour of purchase is actually bought at a C-store. And then there's a lot of locational diversity. So we're at transit hubs, we're at railway stations, airports, highways, gas stations, residential areas. So we don't really see an overlap, and I think it will remain that way. We'll all coexist and do great. Yeah.
That's nice. So technology, we said it's moving at a very fast pace. What if it takes your job someday? What will you do?
Good question. Fortunately, I'm in an offline business, and people will continue to buy milk and bread and food and everything in an offline space. But if at all it is supposed to take my job, I think I'll become a venture capitalist, and I'll start funding great founders who are building technologies like that.
So Aastha, when we talk about technology more, how do you think technology is going to redefine the convenience business in future going ahead?
So I think, that's what we knew in the beginning, that if you want to make retail more efficient and transparent and scalable and profitable, you have to, introduce technology as an enabler to be able to achieve those targets. So far, I can talk about the technology we have built, which is the best-in-class technology that any convenience retailer has today. First of all, convenience retail is driven by franchising, and all the top 40 convenience retail companies in the world are all driven by franchising, and which is why you have to make your technology not just the best but also very affordable. Otherwise, that just increases the cost and maintenance for a franchise partner. So, what we did was in the beginning itself, put everything on the cloud. It just makes it a lot easier to recall data, to keep building products on top and have the data seamlessly integrate with each other. So our entire technology is built on one single database, which is put on the cloud, right? And then we built applications on top. So the kind of application we built is inventory management. We built inventory forecasting and predictive analytics. We built, I would proudly say, one of the world's most affordable point of sale. So our point of sale is priced just at 10,000 rupees, which makes it very affordable for a franchise partner. Then we built our own delivery app and APIs that integrate into various other delivery apps. So we also deliver through Swiggy, Zomato, etc. So we built all of this in-house, and because it's based on one single database, for a franchise partner to keep recalling data is a lot easy. We're a B2B2C company, so our entire franchise dealing happen through the tech that we've created. So our tech is all franchise first, right? So there's a single dashboard where a franchise owner can track their sales real time. All the features that I mentioned, the POS, the inventory management, every single thing is built on that technology itself, right? So single dashboard for a franchise owner is not at all complicated. They do their stock incoming, stock outgoing, their sales, everything is recorded there, who their customer is, what they are buying, and so on and so forth. So we already give them very detailed affinity analytics. If their sales drop or sort of jump for a particular period, we give them analytics on why this happened, what happened, and how they can continue keep building that. Now what we're also building is using generative AI to make this as idiot proof as possible, right? So rather than the franchise partner having to understand and analyze the data, they can just talk to the data, right? So my co-founder Mani is actually working on this as we speak, and just super prompts, like how simple it is for us to work on OpenAI, right? Simple, like my sales dropped in the last 3 days, what can I do? What categories did I drop? So they're just sort of interacting with our software, and they're getting the answers that will make them more successful, and or give them or caution around where they should the areas of improvement. So that is one thing that is very important. I think the second thing people are not talking about right now is data protection. So we need to protect our customers' data, and there's going to be a lot of innovation. I mean, hackers are all over, and and this is a kind of ecosystem where a customer is the most vulnerable because they're interacting. So data protection, obviously generative AI is where it's going to evolve. The few things that we've also done is we do RFID mapping, we do heat sensing, etc., to see where the customer, although we have very small store format, but it sort of helps us, and image recognition through the cameras, right? It sort of helps us in understanding where did the customer spend most amount of time, and down to the thing, that we're able to predict what price point is more favorable, what colors of packaging are more attractive, what size of packaging is more attractive, and how can we get the customer more excited around all these things. So one of the learnings that you'll see is that our stores have like a warm yellow light color, right? Typically no grocery store has ever played around with lights like that, but it's because of that 25% of our customers are young kids, because they think the store is just super lively, and with yellow it's super colorful, so it just sort of brings them to life, and you can see a lot of kids dancing at our stores at all times, which is something that you would have not seen in any other retail or grocery store so far. So it's just something so small as using a different kind of light color can affect your consumer behavior.
So you're using technology so deeply that you know which color to use. Yes. Oh, nice. So my last question to you, Aastha, how do you see the future of new shop and convenience retail evolving here in India?
So we think convenience retail is an easy $40 to $70 billion market, and there will be 4 or 5 players who will sort of set foot and make life more convenient for people. For New Shop particularly, we are obviously the pioneers, and backed by the entrepreneurial model. Our vision is very simple. We want to empower 10,000 entrepreneurs in India by 2030, and hope that each one of them have at least 4 to 5 stores. So we're just working on that mission. We want to democratize business ownership in India. We want to make it as accessible, as affordable to the grassroots level entrepreneur. And not everybody's born or thinks of building unicorns, right? They're just small businessmen who want to build their business, and franchising is an easiest way to start a business with limited downside. So that's our vision for New Shop.
So before we wrap it up, I have a rapid fire with you. I want to understand which is your favorite business book that you have read, and what have you learned from that?
Okay, so I've always been an introvert all my life, and I had to, when you become an entrepreneur, you have to become talkative, and you have to go out of your comfort zone. So who has helped me a lot is Dale Carnegie, and I've read all his books, and I think all of them have sort of built the personality I am today. Like how to win friends and influence people, and all of these books are super important to me, and actually refer to them at least once a year. Because I think every entrepreneur needs to know the art of networking and doing sales, and these books have been wonderful for me.
One retailer or the retail brand that you admire a lot?
Bata. It's a Swiss brand. It was founded in the Czech Republic, but every Indian thinks it's an Indian brand. And somebody who studied fashion and retail, I've always been in awe of how these guys entered India in like early 1930s. It became the largest footwear company in the country, and while they're a luxury brand globally, they do like the Milan Fashion Week and whatnot. In India, it's like a common man's brand. So the level of personalization, the level of innovation that they did, a Swiss, a European brand, it's actually insane. And I don't know why people don't admire Bata so much, but it's I really look up to what they have built, and made it a homegrown brand, and always innovated with times. When they entered in India, it was like that blue wala, that chappal, because they found Indians used to walk around barefoot. So, and then in this humid, sticky weather, to now even, owning North Star and Hush Puppies, they're also moving up on the premium and luxury ladder. And it's just, yeah, that's a brand case study that should be made compulsory for retailers.
Being an omnichannel retailer, where do you shop from, online or offline?
Both, for different needs. So where, I already know what kind of purchase I'm going to be making, I would do it online, right? Like where I know, okay, this is a brand, this is a typical product. But whenever, so I love retail, and for me it's therapeutic. So I keep going out, and so fashion is never online. It'll just be like few things of grocery which I need. But when it comes to like gourmet grocery, I would still go out and see what's new, what's not, what's been launched, and I want to taste and touch and try and buy. But yeah, that's how it is.
Okay, my next question to you is, if not in retail, what you would have been doing?
I think it's very difficult to now think back, because I did try a lot of things. And hence, I found my true calling in life, and why I was born, which is becoming, building India's most successful retail company.
So everybody knows that Aastha is that lady, one lady who has bring convenience to Indian consumers when in terms of grocery. When you are not doing this thing, working with New Shop or thinking about the business, what else do you love to do?
I love traveling. So I'm very well traveled. I would have visited close to 40 countries. And also within India, I'm very well traveled. And for me, traveling is again sort of associated with retail. So I like going to retail stores. I won't call it eavesdropping, but I like sort of sitting and listening to consumer conversations. What's fascinating them about that particular retail store, what those retail stores are. So in fact, all my travel plans are also around what's new and cool about the retail industry in that country. So yeah, I love traveling.
My last question, any advice that you would love to give to the budding entrepreneurs who want to build their businesses here in India?
So I've already in the beginning spoken about the mistakes we made, right? And one thing that we realize is that you identify a need, and look at solving that need rather than getting overly obsessed about the product that you've built, right? Solving that need through whichever mean. is so much more important than getting overly compassionate and overly possessive about the product, because most likely the first product is not going to be your final product. So be agile, be flexible, and listen to what the market is saying and what time are you at, and what the environment is saying if you want to be successful.
That's nice, Aastha. It was a pleasure talking to you. It was a very insightful interview. I hope you also liked it and loved it the way I enjoyed it conducting it. We'll be back again, but next season, not next episode. We'll see you again in the next season. Till then, bye-bye.